Hi, it's John here from GPS Training. Welcome to the latest walk and talk. A slightly different walk and talk this time because we started off in the car. So I don't normally start doing off in the car, but it's blowing an absolute hoolie, and well, otherwise I'm just getting blown away. So we're in the Cheviot Hills. We're going to go and do the Cheviot itself, and we're going to go. Hi, it's John here from GPS Training. Hope you're keeping well. Welcome to the latest walk and talk. Now, it's a slightly different walk and talk because it's absolutely blowing a hoolie. So I started off in the car. So I'm in a place called Hen Hole at the base of the College Valley, and I'm going to try up the Cheviot. I've got two friends with me, and we're going to go and do the Cheviot, and I'm taking a large screen GPS unit, which is the Montana 700. So I'm trying to navigate in January of the highest points in Northumberland with this large screen GPS unit, which is the Montana 700. So, as we always do, let me go back to yesterday and let's pre-plan that. So before we start the walk, we just need to quickly plan it on our free ordnance survey route planning software. So just go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on OS Planner on the top menu bar, and it takes you to our free ordnance survey route planning software. Now, because we're going to Hen Hole, I know the map's already oriented there, but again, you just go to Hen Hole. If you weren't there, type in the location, and it centres the map on Hen Hole, which is at the start of the walk. Now, before I start planning, I always just zoom out a little bit, just get an understanding of where you're going to go. So we start at Hen Hole, we go up the College Valley to the Pennine Way, over the top of the Cheviot, we go down to Auchope Hill, and then we're going to come down to Broad Strother, head over here to Common Bird House, and then back along the Pennine Way. So I've just got a quick overview because you see when I zoom in, you do lose the perspective exactly where you are. So it's best just to get a clear understanding of where you go. And then all we do is we just click on the map every time there's a major corner, and we just create those waypoints. And when we're finished, we can just rename this. So we can call this the Cheviot. We can press this to view the profile so we can see the elevation of the walk, so it looks great. There's no major ups and downs, it's just a nice gradual up and down, so we can see the profile here. And we can see it's 16.6 miles. We just scroll down the bottom and we press the download GPX, and then that download, in this case to a Mac, but it's exactly the same to the PC. Next thing you need to do is just transfer this onto your GPS device. There's some training videos underneath. I'm not going to go into detail now, so if you scroll down to video 4, you'll see transferring a route to a Garmin GPS device. It's a 3-minute video of how you get that GPX file now from your download and transfer that onto your Garmin GPS device before we start walking. So we're here at the start of the walk. I've got two special guests with me today. I've got Andy, you might know from GPS. Andy's got his goggles on, it's blurring that much. And then his fellow walking buddy with his Janes. So welcome to this walk and talk. So what we're going to do now is we'll just actually just shelter, just walk a little bit up the lane to get a bit of shelter from these trees. And then we're going to reset our trip and track data and load that route into our GPS units. And then we're going to head up the wonderful College Valley. So what we need to do at the start of the day's walk, we just need to make sure we've got a satellite signal. So again, number of ways of doing that on this GPS unit, but at the top left you can see you've got a satellite signal at the top. Also it's orientated of where we are on the map, so everything's great there. We need to just reset our trip and track data, so we just press the power button lightly on the side. It says activity pause, we just press on that. As long as this is 0, we can just press the record button down the bottom. And then the final thing we need to do is just load that route within the GPS unit. So press the magnifying glass where to. We just look for routes at the top. Because the GPS knows where we are, it puts the one at the top, which is the Cheviot, and we need to just tap on it there. Just take a few seconds to load because it's quite a big route as we saw on the computer. There it is, 16 and a half miles, and we just press the go down the bottom. And then we get the arrow at the top, which is the navigational arrow, and we also get the big arrow on there, and when we start walking, we can do this. The other thing we can do here is, if you're walking with a friend, we can share that route wirelessly. So again, it's a nice backup, and because I've got Andy here with a GPS unit, I can just go to share wireless on my GPS unit. I'm going to send this to him as a backup, then he can navigate it. I'm going to select my routes. There's my route, which is the Cheviot. So it just takes a few seconds to load, and then I have the button down send, and Andy will press receive on his GPS unit, and it will search for the device, and it will send it directly to him. So it's just sending it there. Really nice backup, because there's now two of us who've got this route loaded onto our GPS units, and then if anything happens with my batteries or anything happens with my GPS unit, we've got that backup there. And also, it's a good way of sharing it, so there's now 2 of us navigating the route rather than just myself. And you can see in the top of the picture, and he's got a 86i, so he's also got 2-way satellite communication. It says OK down at the bottom, transfer is complete, and that's brilliant. So what do? As we do on every other walk and talk, we just follow that arrow. So we're just climbing up the valley. We're just 4.5 miles in. Very, very windy, so as we climb up, it's going to be interesting to see how windy it is when we get up. So we've got the Hen Hole behind us here. Hen Hole with a Cheviot behind it. This is actually the Cheviot here. So that's what we're hoping to climb. I don't know if you can see, there's a waterfalls that run through the Hen Hole. You can see the spray running up. You can. This is climbing up to the border ridge. So we're heading up here. It's what's called Red Crib. So we've walked up the College Valley. There's no cars allowed up the College Valley. Where you can get a permit. 12 cars a day they let up. So we've walked the 4.5 miles up, and then we're just climbing up Red Crib, and there's a refuge shelter on the top. So we'll get out of the wind on the refuge shelter. It's actually the Pennine Way. So when you walk the Pennine Way, this is the last section of the Pennine Way. So Hen Hole is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Stunning. Then we look back down, looking back down the spectacular College Valley, really picturesque, owned and managed by College Valley Estates. It's a really nice area, very remote, and the sun is just starting to come out. So have a quick look around the Montana 700. So you see this big large screen GPS unit, really easy to use. You just have these icons down at the bottom. Whichever icon you press is the page you go to. So we've got the elevation data, so the trip computer, elevation data shows our climb that we're going up now. So just go down the bottom, got trip computer, how high was sea level, how far we've walked, ETA, estimated time of arrival, map page. So we've got the compass rose at the top, overlays on the map exactly where we are, and then the main navigation page is the compass page, which gives you the stats: speed we're walking at, distance to next waypoint, ETA of destination, and time to next waypoint. So when you're walking, those are your main page. So I tend to just navigate with the Montana just on the compass page, or alternatively on the map page, that compass rose at the top. Again, there's the route overlaid on the map. We're that blue triangle, and we can zoom in. That takes on to the 1 to 25,000 mapping, which I've got on this unit. I've got 125,000 mapping on the unit. Scroll out, you go to 1 to 50,000. So again, 125,000. You can see that Red Crib is what we're going up now. And we've got that arrow at the top. So there's a little bit to go. Then we're gonna just look back down the wonderful College Valley. It's absolutely stunning, isn't it? I've seen 2 guys all day who were, they spent the night in the refuge hut on the top, and that's all we've seen all day. So yes, absolutely stunning. And it's really easy, this GPS unit. Again, it's just really nice, easy one to use. I always say, in the nicest possible ways, when we deliver GPS training courses, the person with a Montana usually ends up being very near the top of the class. And that's often not down to their abilities, just down to how easy this GPS unit is to use. Again, with these icons down the bottom, really easy to quick reference which page you want to go to. And as you see, when you plan that route, it's dead simple. All we do is follow the arrow on the screen, either on the map page or on the compass page. And again, if you're someone who wears glasses, massive arrow. Often you don't need to wear your reading glasses because you can see this massive arrow on it. So really, that's a quick look around the pages on the Montana 700. So the other thing people ask about the Montana 700 or the 700 range is, how do we carry it? It's a big GPS unit, I'm not going to deny that. I actually carry it on this power case here. So it's actually this little carry case. Fingers crossed you can see it. I've got a lanyard on it as well, which attaches it to me, and this fits on my rucksack strap. So This just comes in and out and fits in this really big, basic case. Again, they're just $9.99. I think it's £21, £22 with a lanyard. Really nice, easy way. Carry it on your rucksack strap. I know a few people have sent us the ways they carry them. You know, there's a little ring around the top. I've seen someone who's put a carabiner on there and just cable tied it onto it and attached it onto the rucksack up here. But it is quite a big GPS unit, and carrying it low down on your body really gives you the flexibility that you want when you're out walking. So again, we're just reaching the top. We've hit by wind. It's the Shill behind us. This is a Shill. It's always funny, we always claim it as one of our high peaks in Northumberland. Really lovely walk, but it's actually over the Scottish border. We do that a lot in Northumberland. We pinch the Scottish mountains and claim them as our own. So yeah, this is where we're heading up to, and go along the ridge onto the top of the Cheviot. So, just climbing up. So we've got Hen Hole away to my left rather. Just climbing up. It's absolutely blowing the gale, but luckily the wind behind us. So just climbing up the Cheviot, which is away to our right. It's a flat summit, the Cheviot, so it's not the prettiest of summits, but it's the highest point in Northumberland, which is where we're going today. So lovely dry day. Wind's behind us. It's gonna be a tad windy when we hit the top, so we turn through 90 degrees. We'll be buffeted on the side by the wind, but hey, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? So yeah, all going well. So we're at the Cheviot, the highest point in Northumberland, just under 2,700 feet. So it's not the most glamorous of summits, it's a really flat summit on top of the Cheviot, but here we are. They put the cairn up a height because it's all just lowered down in the bog. So highest point in Northumberland, navigated here with the Montana 7. So then we're just about to lose light. Before we do, I'll have a quick look through the main pages so we can see exactly what we've got. So we've got a map page with the compass rose at the top, 40% battery, and we've got full satellite signals. Then we just have these shortcuts down the bottom. So, get back out there. So this is the route. Here's our waypoints that we can see on that map page. When I'm touching the map page, it goes into what's called a planning mode, and like I create a waypoint. So what we need to do when we're walking is we can lock that screen. So we just press the power button lightly on the side, and we get this padlock here. We can lock that screen. You'll see now, if I accidentally touch the screen, that's not a problem. So that's something to bear in mind if you are with a touchscreen unit, especially on a winter's day when it's raining and that kind of thing. So I'll just unlock the screen then again, press the power button lightly on the side, press the little padlock. Just while I'm there, this is how we can do the screen brightness. So Again, if I press it there, screen brightness up and down, get live weather, which is this is paired with my mobile phone, and we've got a flashlight down here and other such things as well. All right, and then we've got the compass page, distance to next waypoint, time to next waypoint, estimated time of destination 5:22. So again, it's going to go dark before we get there, isn't it? Trip computer, how far we walked, 13.02 miles, distance to next waypoint, ETA destination, speed, maximum speed, heading, time of day, just how long we've been walking, and distance to the destination. We've got just under just over 4.5 miles to go, don't we? Elevation, just here within the walks, this is going over the top of the Cheviot, a little bit of a climb here, and then we're going to drop back down as we jump onto the St Cuthbert's Way. That's our main menu there as well. And then within here, this is how I initially shared that information first thing with Andy, isn't it? Satellite signal. So I've got it set up for GPS and Galileo. We've got the GPS signal there, and the Galileo is the European satellite. An accuracy of 8 feet, which is fairly stunning, really, isn't it? So that's pretty accurate. And the grid reference at the top with BNG. So that's just a quick look around the Montana 700. Really nice GPS unit. Key thing I've learned today is we need to make sure that screen is locked when we put it in the pouch, especially on the winter's day. But to be honest, I've had gloves on most of the day. It actually is working okay with my gloves on. I'm quite impressed. I've got quite thick gloves. These are gloves I've been wearing, and that's been working with no problem with those gloves. So that's a quick look around the Montana 700. So we've got another 4.5 miles to go. It's 3:34. It's going to go dark in the next hour. So we'll have a little bit of walking in the darkness, which will be a fun time. So what's my thoughts of walking all day with the Montana 700? Oh, I really like it. See where it's really come to its own. It's not, my colleague Andy's been out with us today with his 86i, which is just the same as a 66i. And a couple of times we've actually changed the route because some of the footpaths were major footpaths. So we kind of jumped and used our open access, our right to roam, on the open access ground. And we've managed just to look at the map and just work out where we need to go. So we'll end up with a slightly longer route than what we originally planned. But with that larger screen of the Montana, it's been a far easier job to do. I've been able to see on a lovely big clear screen where we need to go, and again I can look ahead, zoom out, and really get a very good understanding. Because one of the girl that's been with us, Jane, she's completely unorientated of where we are. She's finding it hard to work out where we are in relation to where we're starting things. And the large screen on the Montana 700 has kind of solved that problem. We're seeing that we can see ahead of ourselves. Again, if we've left our route, which we have a couple of times onto farm tracks and things, utilising open access rights, we've been able to do that with the Montana 700. So I really like it. The size of it doesn't bother me carrying it. I think with that carry case, I think it's really quite a nice way to carry it with a carry case. I think it's worked out really well. And considering the walk that we've had in quite extreme conditions with the wind blowing and things, I think it's performed exceptionally well. Easy to carry. And I say I like that large screen. So overall, I've really liked walking with that Montana 700 today. So, the sun is just setting over the College Valley. So we're back to the College Valley. We're just about arriving at the finish point. So, let's go away there. You can see the GPS has gone into night mode. So, GPS goes all black once sunset has happened. It's a lovely clear night though, isn't it? So I don't think we need head torch or anything like that. So when we're navigating, the main pages we need to navigate on, as we see, the compass page, which gives you all the data at the top, and then we just navigate also on the map page. The map page with the compass rose at the top. Now you can see I've got my thick gloves on, and I'm actually just changing those pages with my gloves. So you can see they're not these gloves with special fingers or anything, they're just normal, thick, heavy walking gloves. So what did I say? I said I won't need my head torch. There you are. It's now gone dark. It's officially dark. Head torch time for the last mile or so. Let's get back to the car. So, what's my overall thoughts of the walk? It was a really nice walk. Quite turbulent conditions on the top. I think the Montana 700 really excelled. So I've got no trouble with that, going out with that unit in high mountains in winter. I think it excelled. You know, the touchscreen working with my gloves on was a real bonus. Great battery life on it, and to be honest, cracking experience. The only thing that kind of has disappointed me a little bit is the carry case. I really like the carry case, but because it's got quite a thin band, it kind of sits on the front of my rucksack strap. So it kind of catches my leg as it goes up and down. It's not life-changing. It's a hard one really, because the SatMap have a really good case which sits around the side with a wide band on the back. But I have had a few people say, oh, it rotates if it's on a narrow band, which it does. So it's a no-win situation really, isn't it? We either got this narrow band that sits nice and tight and snug and doesn't move around, or we've got a wide band on this carry case that potentially it rotates on your rucksack strap. It's not very wide. So I don't know if people have had experiences, if people have used the carry case we sell. Very much interested. People can leave comments in the comment box below about their experiences, but that's been my experiences of that carry case. But overall, I can't see any other way at this moment in time of carrying that GPS unit. And I really like that GPS unit. I really like the clarity of the screen. I really like how big the screen has been, and I can look ahead. You know, when we've been adapting routes today, it's been second to none. Do you know what? It's been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's my original overall thoughts of the Montana 700. So I'm not far off the car. When I get there, I'm just going to show you how you stop navigating your route and you save that trip and track data, and then we'll be heading home, and the wind has eventually died down. So at the end of the day's walking, we just need to save that track. So I've actually just saved that now. Just press the power button lightly on the side, tap on the activity bar at the top and save that. So we can see the trip distance, 8 hours and 39. Distance 18.74 miles. We can see the points, average speed 2.6 miles an hour. If we click on the little map, it would overlay on the map exactly where we've been. You can see the route as well there and exactly what we've done, and then you've got the elevation data as well, which is more accurate because that's kind of as we've actually walked it. Next thing we need to do is we need to just stop navigating that routes. We just press stop navigation, and that's us finished. Now when we stop navigating, the compass page is back to the way it was, and then everything's now at 0. And again, on the map page, the compass rose is blank at the top. So that's how we do it at the end. So at the end of the day's walk, we need to stop that navigation, press the magnifying glass where to, stop navigation, and we need to just save that track. So we're just back in the car. Andy, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was a tough one in that wind.
It was a tough walking tour. So very much hope you've enjoyed it. The big takeaway, I've said this a number of times, I can't believe how flexible that Montana 700 was in those conditions. They're quite hard conditions, wind was blowing, and again I think we really benefited from that large screen once we changed the route. That's what I'm saying.
Because we had to change our route and take a diversion, and seeing the big screen was great.
Very good. So if there's anything you'd like us to cover in future walking tours, please just leave a comment in the comment box below. If you can, please subscribe to our channel, and if you can, like and press the little bell, that also is very much appreciated. So from a nightfall in Hethpool, in the College Valley, in windy Hethpool, back home for us this evening, Saturday night. Maybe have a beer and two to celebrate climbing the highest point in Northumberland, the Cheviot.